गंगा तट पर विराजे स्वयं भोलेनाथ जी महिमा बरीती तुम्हें काशी विश्वनाथ की
Hanging out with Angel, talking with Angel, hanging out with Angel. Oh yeah, yeah. Hanging out with Angel, talking with Angel, hanging out with Angel. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Hey, this is Angel. I'm so glad we are back. And you know, I support authors because I am also an author. And I am so excited because I got Vashti back again. How you doing, Vashti?
I am great, thank you.
Yes, yes. And oh my God, people were asking, when is Vashti going to come back? You know, last time was about a year ago. You had your first book out, and now you got another book. This is so exciting. I'm so honored. Thank you so much for allowing us just to spend some time with you, Vashti, just to ask you some questions and see how you're doing. So, the new book is called The Little Fairy. All right. Vashi, before we talk about the book, tell us a little bit about where you're from and just a little bit about you.
Okay, I am from the beautiful island of Trinidad and Tobago. I am
Woo!
from the
Okay,
south side of
Trinidad.
Trinidad. Yeah, I am from the south side of Trinidad, and I
Okay.
am married and I have three sons. They are all in school right now.
Three
So it's
boys.
only yes, three boys.
Beautiful. Congrats.
Yes.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Wonderful. And how's the weather out there in Trinidad?
Well, this morning it started very rainy and cloudy, but it
Wow.
clear up right now. Yeah, it clear up a little, just a little now. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Well, Vashti, I'm gonna tell you, I love The Little Fairy. I did read the book. It's available. Family, before we get started, I just want you guys to go on Amazon, please, and support our sister Vashti. Let me just show you the book. It is a beautiful book. It's called The Little Fairy, and you can get it right there on Kindle. I got it, I got the Kindle and I read the book just right there on my phone. It was a beautiful book. Vashti also has another book. Please get both the books, The Rose Maiden. We talked about that. A matter of fact, in the link, in the description, I'm going to put the link of our last interview we did about The Rose Maiden. It was amazing. And now she's back again. This is awesome. Uh, Her new book called The Little Fairy is available right now. I just got my copy. I'm so excited. So I'm just happy that Vashti is back to share us, the information about the new book. Tell us a little bit about the Little Fairy, Vashti. What's the Little Fairy about?
Well, the little fairy is about a family. We all like to be together as a family, especially
Yeah.
kids. They like to see both parents together,
Yes.
happy and like. So the little fairy is about family. It was about the little fairy named Tilly. She lived with her mom and her grandmom, who is a queen of the fairies. But
Wow.
one day she saw her mom crying. When she went closer, she saw her father pity. So she
Mm.
decided to go and look for her father because she didn't like to
Yes.
see her mom cry, sad. So
Yeah.
so she went and her mom uncle went with her, and then after, well, the grandmother joined them because from first she didn't her father was a human, but also
Mhm.
the queen, when she was young, she fell in love with a human. Tilly's father
the
is a
fairy,
human.
the fairy fell in love with the human. I love it. I
So
love it.
she decided to go and help her granddaughter bring back her daughter, husband. So that is where the adventure set out, when they went back
Yeah.
in the human world to bring back the prince. And
Yeah. Yeah.
wicked sorcerer held him captive because he wanted to know where the fairies are to get the power of the fairy, the green diamond. But due to some soldiers was loyal to the prince, so who was also the fairy grandfather, who also was a human, and he
Wow.
helped them, and in the end, the good one, and the family was able to come back together. So, and seeing what's going on all over, and even self in Trinidad, where we have with children in schools, we have some violence, and when you look at the children, their parents separate. So
Right.
I decided that to put this book outside there. The
Wow.
family, showing what all family is about. Helping each other, there for each other. Sometimes, we mightn't have our mom and dad there with us, but at least we'll have an adult or um, a, a aunt or uncle. Because in this one, the little fairy, her uncle decided to go and help her, her mom uncle. So,
Right.
if we don't have a support of a parent, we have a support of someone there in the family with us. So that is why I decided to write the little fairy.
Yeah. And it was so amazing. And I like what you said, Vashti, because we see a lot of, children without a father in the home or without the mother in the home. And I love when families together, because I'm all about family. I love family. Even though sometimes in your family there could be, maybe there's some tension with maybe a relative, but it's not you personally. Like with my family, I get along with everybody in my family. I've never had a problem with my family. But sometimes they have a problem with another person in the family that you may, you know, have a good relationship with, and it brings tension. But my goal is always to love my family, even if some of them may not be, where they should be, or if they're, maybe they have some issues, but you still wish them well. You know what I'm saying? You'll still come to them for their help. You'll still look out for their best interests, right? And when I read The Little Fairy, and I saw the part when she left for a little while and she came back with the baby, and she was, her mom was like, what was this? And she's like, I got married, right? I want you to raise the baby, right? But the mother was like, okay, who's this guy? And she's saying, he's really attractive, he's good looking. And she's like, the mother's like, I don't care about him good looking. Is he a good man? Right. So anyway, in the book, she goes away back with her husband. But what I loved about the family was her mother told her cousin, I want you to go check on her, watch and see what's going on over there, right? And that's beautiful, because we always should look out, for the children, the family, make sure everything is okay, right? Even in the book, when she finds her cousin, I think it was the cousin, and she said, "Did my mom send you here?" He was like, "Yes." I'm here to make sure everything is okay.
What I'm saying is, we all say that the children is our future of tomorrow, but
Amen.
our kids also is the future of us, because they care on our name, they care on the things that we represent. So that is why I was inspired by, if something like small, like a little fairy could do it, bring
Yeah.
family
Let's help
together.
with your little
Who is
fairy.
humans? Who is we humans? We could do it also.
Right, right, right. But I really enjoyed the read. It was a really good read. And family, please get the book, especially if you have kids. You can read it to them. It's a beautiful story, and I really love the way Vashi, put in the book that if a fairy want to be a human, they just have to think about being a human, or like the human, and they change or what have you. It was something like that in the book that was really cool. And then I like the green diamond,
Yes,
right? Had the power, and it was just
yes.
really amazing the way you put together this this story. It was a beautiful story for family, and but it was also it kept my attention the whole time. I was never bored. I was just like, wow, what's going to happen next? So yeah, please, you guys, get this book. It's an amazing book. It's a short read. Please support our sister Vashti. I'm going to have both her books in the link, so please go over there. And Vashti, I have in my community, people had some questions for you. They said, please ask Vashti some questions. So I gathered all their questions. And these questions come from people who watch my channel. Whenever I tell them, hey, we're going to have somebody, um, in an interview, an author or a singer, whoever it is, I always ask, do they have questions? And these are some of the questions that they ask. The first question is, Vashi, when did you first realize you wanted to be a writer?
Well, since I was young, because when we go in school, we have to write short stories. And when I
Right.
write short stories, I used to make a lot of high marks. So I realized, well, I will start, to write, put it in pen and paper then, and that's why I decided to become a writer.
That's awesome. And I'm telling you, both of your books are amazing, very well written. All right. So the second question is, how long does it take for you to write a book? How long does it normally take you, Vashi, to write a book?
Well, actually, if I doing sometimes my books, I do research to write my books. I don't just go on write and write down anything comes to my head. I do a lot of research. Like if I'm writing about something, I research about it. So it even if it is a real, it has friction also in it. So like
Nice.
right now, I'm writing another book called The Black Diamond. So
Oh, wow.
over, over a year now, I am writing it. So I hope to finish by December month because it is a lot. It also is about family, and
Mhm.
it have a lot of research to do.
Okay.
So
Beautiful.
yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And Vashti, what are your favorite books to read? What kind of books do you read?
Well, I like to read history. I like to read adventures, and I
Oh,
even like
okay.
to read, yes, and I like to read religious books.
Nice, nice. You said religious books?
Yes, I love
Good
to
for
read religious.
you. Yes, I love it. I love it. Now, when did you write your first book and how old were you when you wrote your first book?
Well, actually, when I started writing the Rose Maiden, I was in my 20s, but I did not
Wow.
finish it out. But after I came and I finished it out, and I decided to publish it.
Good for you. See, family, everybody that is, a writer, maybe you have an old song. And what's so amazing is I've seen people put out songs and they said, hey, I wrote this in 1980, such and such, and I just put it out. So hold on to those good ideas. Hold on to your writings. Hold on to those pictures. You never know. It's never too late. Look at Vashi wrote this book in her 20s and she finally decided I'm going to publish this book. So family, please, hold on to that. Don't give up, right? Sometimes we trying to get enough money to get our projects together, where it's a business or what have you. And you may not have the money right now, but when you get it, you're ready. You're ready. So save those good gifts that the Lord gave you. Now it says here, next question, Vashi, is how do you create your main characters? Like you have all I think the name was Twinkle and Prince Dale. I think. How do you come up with these characters?
Well, the characters is that Prince Dale is my small son, my last child. His name is Dale, and he cute, so I decided to put Prince Dale. So
That's beautiful.
I use him as a prince. So that is
Yeah,
how I get my character. Sometimes look at I just like friends or family. I look at them and I take something from each one of them and I just
nice.
create a character and I make it.
Good. That's so awesome. Good for you. And see, your son's a celebrity. He's in the book. That's beautiful. Um, so you talked about your next book, The Black Diamond. You don't have to say too much about it 'cause I know it's something, but what is it about the book, The Black Diamond?
Well, actually, when I was growing up as a little girl, I my father grew up as like going to church, going, temple. So being a Hindu, I used to read a lot. Well, I know some Hindi, a little Hindi. So I used to read the religious book. But recently I was looking at YouTube, and I saw that in the Mahabharata, where this warrior, his name was Ashwatthama, and
Okay.
the legend has it that he's still on Earth. So
Wow.
I created this. Well, actually, I used my husband and his two cousins because they always, Nikki and Chris, they always together. So my husband name is Keith. So they go to work together, they go hunting together, they go fishing
Wow.
together. So I decided to use three of them and make the book an adventure where they go
Yes.
Nepal. They meet the king. He told them about the black diamond, ways to keep the country peaceful, safe, and they believe it have people will have beliefs that they have this, the country will be good, the crops will grow, everybody will get. So I decided that that this woman, this witch, she thieved the diamond and hid it. But Ashwatthama, his dad, before he died in the war, you know, gave him the diamond to hide. So um, Nikki, Keith, Nikki, and Chris has to go to look for Ashwatthama to help them find the diamond.
Oh,
And
wow.
being Yes, and being he's 5,500 years old, Nikki being the one who's always making joke and the fun. He being the one asking him questions about long time and about nowadays. So it is so that is why I say I do a lot of research. And
Yeah,
what I
absolutely.
yeah,
Right.
yes, and what I noticed, they said he had a diamond in the middle of his forehead. And
Mm.
when I was looking at YouTube also, I saw where there's found an alien in the moon with with like a third eye. So they say it belongs to the Hindu religion. So
Wow.
it kind of well, Ashitama will tell them that like his clan came from the moon, and
Wow.
Lord Shiva, he have a third eye also, and he have the moon decorate his hair.
Wow.
So yeah, so it will come like he is the god of the moon, and that is his tribe. That is like it come from him. He is the ancestor, and it came from him. So that is why they found the alien on the moon, and he was on Earth, and he's here roaming on Earth. So
Wow.
that is what I said. I did a lot of research. It's not because I just writing. I love to write, yes, but not just writing. But I want to write things with sense, and
Yeah.
also things with truth. You have truth, but you take the truth and you make up a story with friction. So
Right.
that is what I.
And I love it, Vashti, because when you're talking about what you're writing, you light up. You're just excited about what you're doing. And like you're doing your research and because some people want to know, they heard about this guy supposed to be here on the earth, whether people believe it or not. There are people that are interested in things like that, and to turn it
Yes,
into uh you know a a story where people can enjoy and also share where that story comes from, it's just going to be just amazing. People, always like to hear, like, I like a lot of documentaries and history. I like that. I learned so much. Yeah, like, what? I never heard of this. And I mean, wow, like even if you look at all the different cultures or the different languages, and you see these people that may be the same color as you. They may, look like you, but they have a different language, different dance,
yes,
different name. And you're like, who are these people? What do they do? And you find out, like, wow, how amazing and beautiful, throughout the world, just all the different people and stories and history. It's amazing. So you're gonna enjoy You're gonna really enjoy doing your not investigation, but your
My
just
research. Yes.
yeah, your research.
Yes.
Yeah, your research. When you start
Yes.
looking at, when you start seeing pictures and other people's
Yes.
stories, and it's going to be fun. It's going to take you
Yes.
some time, but I can't
Yes.
wait till you come back on the show. You got to share it with us, Vashti. Beautiful.
Yes.
All right. So let's say, okay, so the next question is, what would you say, Vashti, is the most difficult part of writing a book? What's the most hardest part when you're writing a book?
Well, the most hardest part that each chapter you write have to coincide with the other chapter. You just, just cannot go and just write it, because when you finish a chapter, in that next chapter you're writing, have to be able to relate to the other, to the chapter before. So that is the hardest part. So you have to know, like, sometimes you have things to write, but it's not from with that chapter. It will be another chapter. So you have to fit in a
Oh,
chapter
right.
where it will come, for it to keep going on, so the people will know what they're reading. They will understand what they're reading. I just don't like to jump from one thing or another thing, and I myself don't understand. So that is the hardest part of writing a book.
Right. Right. I've seen that in movies. Like when people write a movie and then there's a person in the movie, but then sometimes they forget to bring that person. Did they leave or what happened? And you're like, whatever happened to that character? They just left
Yes,
it out. So
yes,
you're right. If somebody might come back in chapter 6 that you talked about in chapter 2, but you have to remember, okay, I have to bring him back, you know, into the story.
yes,
So yeah, you have to really pay attention
yes,
to what you're writing and where you're at in the story, so you don't get lost because you're still
yes,
writing it, creating it, and then when you think you have it, when you start writing, you say, "Oh, I want to add this. I want to add that." So
yes,
it's always ongoing works. So good for you. That's a good thing. People that are watching that are writers, whether it's film, music, or a book, you have to keep that thing flowing. All right. All right. So, Vashi, when you're not writing, what do you like to do?
well, I like to sing. And
Oh, you sing?
and yes, I since I was a little girl, I sang when my dad used to take us to the temple. I used to sing a lot. And
Wow. You want to sing a little something?
um
Maybe a little short.
okay, I'm going to sing it in Hindi. Okay.
Okay. And what is it? What is it called?
It's a bhajan that I love. I saw the movie Kashi Vishwan Mehima Kashi Vishwanath Ki, and actually every day I be playing that over YouTube, the song. So I love the song.
Okay.
So I'm gonna sing just a few lines for you.
Okay. Just a little bit.
Yeah. देवों में महादेव है काशी विश्वनाथ जी देवों में महादेव है काशी विश्वनाथ जी गंगा तट पर विराजे स्वयं भोलेनाथ जी महिमा बरीती तुम्हें काशी विश्वनाथ की बोले जय बोलो बाबा भोलेनाथ की. Okay.
Woo! I love it.
Thank you.
Vashi, you can sing.
Yes,
You
I
are
sang.
multi-talented. Oh my
Yes, I
God.
am. I was the
Well,
head
I
of the
like
choir in my school.
wow, you sound like it. You sound like you don't
Yeah.
need no help. You don't need no
No,
background. You got
no.
a
Every time
nice,
we,
soft,
yeah.
pretty voice.
Yes, and when we have to go to the radio, well, I was to be in front to sing on the radio station.
Beautiful. Wow. Well, thank you, Vashi. Wow. You guys got to go support Vashi. Get her books. This lady is just multi-talented. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Really. You have a beautiful voice.
Thank
All
you.
right. So, a question I have for you, Vashi. What does your family think of your writing?
Well, my husband support me, my children, they support me also. And actually they excited, they was also excited about this interview, but they couldn't stay home, they had to go to school. So I said,
All
okay,
right, well,
so
tell them. Say you're gonna see your mama live on
yes.
the Angel Mickey Jackson show. All right,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I'm so glad. I was excited too. I was so happy
Oh,
you
and
reached out because
also told me to tell you that you're doing a wonderful job, and to keep up the
ah,
good work. Keep up the
thank you.
good
I
work.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right. So another question was, do you base your characters on real people? And you said you did. Your
Yes.
son, and yeah, yeah. So beautiful. Now, have you ever experienced writer block? That's when you can't, you're trying to write, you're in the middle of your book, and you just can't think. Do you ever have problems with writer's block?
Not no, not really, because sometimes, like as I told you, when I research and I have to put it in our next chapter instead of this chapter, I just sit down and just relax, and it just come, and after I
See?
go right back. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're an experienced writer. All right. So, what was the most surprising thing you learned in creating your books? What was something you learned that was surprising to you, if there was anything, when you wrote your books?
Well, actually, as I told you, when I was in my 20s, I used to write, but I didn't think it was like good enough to put it outside there. So I went on took a creative writing course from England, a home course. When I finished, I get a diploma, and I go along. I learn how to put everything out there. Instead I'd mix it up, and as I was telling you before. So that will make me do all this.
Yeah, so that is surprising, when you sing or you write or you dance, and then you find out, hey, I can do this for real. I
Yeah,
can really put this out. Even
yeah,
like when I do my books, I have one that's published through a company, and I have one I publish myself. And I just love the control of being able to do your own cover, because
yes,
once you get published, they choose everything,
yes,
and yeah, my mom, she published a book, and it's a beautiful dream book, and she had a beautiful picture and everything, but the minute she got picked up, she had to change, they changed the cover, they kind of control everything. But the beauty of being published is you don't have to do anything. You know what I'm saying? They give you whatever your agreement is, you get your money every so often. But they do have control of certain things depending on your contract. But when you're
yes,
self-published, you have an opportunity that you can go to a church, and you can, share your religious, books, or you can go to schools and share with the kids. You can do different things that you don't have to get approval for, and you can call your book what you want to call it. You could, have the cover whatever picture you want. So to have that control, you can really express yourself, right? When somebody picks up your book, you created everything. Your kids can say, this is mom did this, right? And it's
yes,
just a
yes,
beautiful thing. You leave your legacy, your print mark of what our father have gifts he's given us. We're sharing it out. So it's like my mom, she's gone to glory. She passed away, and I got the royalties to her book, and it's beautiful, you know, seeing that her book is still out there. Her
yes,
dream,
yes,
what got her gifts are out there.
yes,
And even though
yes,
she's gone to glory, the gifts are still moving forward. So other people can benefit from it. So that's an amazing thing.
that is
Beautiful,
true. Yes.
beautiful. I'm sorry, what was that?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. So Vashi, how many books have you written?
Well, actually, I've written two books, The Rose
Oh,
Maiden,
wonderful.
and the
Oh,
second
good for
one is The
you.
Little Fairy.
Wonderful, wonderful. So that's beautiful. Every book you wrote is out there. So that's great. That's great.
Yeah,
All right. Now, what would you say is your strength as a writer? What do you think your strengths are in writing?
Well, my strength is my family. Sit down and talking, and and being together, because as a family, when we when we all home, at least when the children home, at least one time for the day we sit down and have dinner, or as a family. And like on the weekends, like a Saturday and Sunday, and my husband is home with us, we sit down and have breakfast, lunch, and dinner together. So when you have the
Wow.
support of your family, you have the strength to do anything, to overcome
Mm.
anything.
Wow, Vashi. You might want to write a book about inspiration because you've been saying some powerful, you've been leaving us some powerful jewels. And I'm telling you, you're right. When you have support in your family, whether it's your husband, a significant other, your mom, your brother, just like one time, Vashi, I never forget. Um, I come from a broken family. Like my dad wasn't in the house, and my mother raised us four. And I remember when I was in I think my 30s or 40s, something like that. And I was sitting on my mom's bed. And I never forget when my mom looked at me and she says, "You know what, Angel?" I said, "Yeah, mom." She said, "I am so proud of you." She says, "I'm really, really proud of you." And she just went on and on and on about how she felt about me as a woman. And I never forget how emotional I felt because I never heard that before. My mom always, loved her kids, but when they look at you and they say, "Vashti, you did very well. You did good." It's something when it's your family. Because friends can tell you anything, but when your mom, your dad, your children, the ones that are your immediate family, tell you that they're proud of you, that you're doing well, that they wish you the best, it's very powerful. And because my mom said that to me, I always, till this day, always remember my mother was proud of me. She loved me. She told me I have worth and value, and that despite all the things we go through as young women, she saw my journey and she said it was good. And I appreciated that. It did something to me. And to this day, I always remember my mom loved me. She was really proud of me. It encourages you to continue doing whatever it is that you do, because if someone doesn't like it or they're not a fan of yours or they're not, my mama loved me. You know what I'm saying? My mama
Yes,
said
I
it's
understand.
good.
Yes,
Put their hand up. My mama like it's so important to have people around you. If you don't have family here, people that are watching, if you don't have family here, you have people that God will bring around you as your new family. And they're good. I have friends that are closer to me than some of my family members that really got my back. And when you get just, you don't need a whole lot of them. If you could get one good friend that is encouraging and just wish you well, you can go for a lot further to have that person you could talk to, or if you're, you know, going through a struggle, or if you have some ideas and you want to just kind of bounce it off on somebody, bounce it off someone who loves you, that cares, not a jealous person or a hater, but someone who really looks at you for who you are and accepts you for the greatness that you have, and they don't have nothing against you. Those are the ones you want to have around you, right? So, Vasha, you're right. It's so important to have people who wish you well and family, like your husband. Could you imagine if your husband didn't like your writing and you're writing a book? What are you doing? You should be cooking. Go. I'm right. You feel bad. Like you have to hide it. You couldn't be as good. You couldn't be as successful. You're right. Or, oh, you should be doing this. And you're like, okay, you don't want that. You want to be free in your gifts. So good for
yes.
you. All right. Now, do you like to do books for adults too, or mostly for the youth, for the younger?
Well, this book, the Black Diamond, it will be like for teenagers and young and adults also. It will be
Nice.
yeah.
Oh, so you have variety. You have for the kids, and you also have for the adults, and also for the
Yes,
teenagers.
yes,
Well, all
because
right, Vashti.
yes, what I was saying, like sometimes when we put the books outside or things there for the kids to teach about family, sometimes we have to put things outside to remind the adults, you know,
Right.
the role they have to play so that the kids will look up to them. So that is
Right.
why I'm writing this one, the Black Diamond, for older teenagers and adults, because sometimes as teenagers, sometimes we doesn't like to listen, you know, and do things that we think is right, but after it is wrong. So when you go out outside there and you put out books or flyers or whatever for they to read, one will get their attention, and you know they will
Right.
come to adult or come to someone and talk, have it out what they have in your heart, because sometimes as young people they need to talk out what is inside of them. So that
That's
is
right.
why I'm thinking of writing the Black Diamond.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing. Good for you, Vashi. Keep writing and keep, whatever, you feel you want to share it, because I'm telling you, I got the little fairy and I just, got my little coffee. I love to have my coffee. And I just started drinking my little coffee and reading the book. And it was such a good read. It was so nice and peaceful and just reading. And I'm telling you, family, get the book and just read it even as an adult. It just brings you back to a place of peace. And like Vashi was explaining to us, the importance of family. And the book is really good. You're gonna like it. It's a lot of fun, and I like all the characters. And we're not gonna tell you too much about the ending, but it's a very good ending, right? So you got to get the book. I'm gonna, make sure you look in the description. I'm gonna have the information on where to get the book. And a matter of fact, if you cannot afford the book and you really want the book, please email me. I'll put my email there and I will send you a book. Okay. I just need probably your email and I can send it to you. So just say, hey, Angel, can you please send me the book? So go ahead and my email, angelonline@att.net. I'll leave it in the description as well. Right. Because I don't want you to miss it. All right. So, so Vashi, a question also we have here is, what is your favorite part of being a writer? What
My
do you like
favorite
about
part,
being a
well, I like, as I said, I like putting things out there for children or
yeah,
people to learn from. That is what my favorite part as a writer is, because even self, no one is perfect, and even self, when I put things outside there, I can learn from my own writings, my own things, to be a better
yeah,
mom, be a better wife, to be, a better friend. So
that's right.
that is what I love most. Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, the last question I have for you, Vashi, is as a child, what did you want to do when you grew up?
Well, as a child, I always I love Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Indiana Jones, and I
Oh,
always
yeah,
want
yeah,
to go and look for. I took history in school, and I always wanted to go and look for the ancient things. And then
yeah,
when I know that I have that I could start to write and put out things out there, I say what is good. It'll be a very good. When you go and you see the history, you're right. So people will know that the history, what the history is all about, and what it
right.
have everyone.
That's right. That's right. Wonderful. That is so amazing. I tell you, it's like, when I was younger, I wanted to get into music. I wanted to sing and do hip hop music, and I wasn't that good at it. I really wasn't. I was a good writer, but I wasn't a good, singer like you. When I hear your voice, it's like, oh my God, that's beautiful. Have you
Thank
thought
you.
about well, real quick, just to get back, this just came to my spirit. I wanted to to sing or do something that had to do with music, right? But all the times I was in the recordings, I recorded a lot of songs, I did a lot of writing. But look at me today. I do this channel. I'm doing, Bible study at night or interviews or just vlogs or what have you, all that recording, all that, editing, and it got me prepared for today. Even though you're younger, so you never know what skills you're using, you'll use it for later. Like, perfect example with the whole Indiana Jones. Now you're doing research. You're checking into
Yes.
things, checking out ancient, stories about, this religious leader, and you're preparing yourself, to produce another amazing book. So sometimes we might say, well, I wanted to do this when I was younger, but I ended up doing this. A lot of times it might just be that gift that we have to train to prepare ourselves for something else, that we're going to need that same skill that we thought was for one thing ends up being for another. So yeah, so I'm so happy that you came on today, Vashti. And I mean, I can't wait to check out the new book. That's going to be nice. And you said it might be out around December.
Yes, it'll be around December.
All right, all right. So when you're working on your book, do you work like a couple of days a week, or do you have a schedule?
Well, actually, when no one is at home with me and I alone, the place is be quiet. So I have like a 2 hours, 3 hours a day. I just work on the book.
Nice, nice. Or just maybe having a day of research and then, go back and forth.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I was going to ask you, when you're writing, I know as a writer, you have to have a space for that. What does your space look like for you to really concentrate on your research and your writing?
Well, actually, I sat by the table because it when we sat by the table, it remember mine about family. So
Yeah.
everyone has the dinner, the breakfast, and when I sat there to write my story, and it just had to come. I just had to think. So that is why I like sitting by the table, by the table where I'm
Yeah. So
writing.
you don't need it to be quiet. You like to be around the family while you're writing and working on stuff.
Yeah, well, like when I do my research, I do it when I alone home, but and jot
Right.
down what I have to write. But when the kids home and they go in their room, I sat by the table and I write what I am.
So when you're doing your writing, and you're doing your research part, you kind of like to have it, when the kids go to bed or what have you, then you kind of have your, yeah,
Quiet.
nice.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. And do you have to, are you like me? Do you like your coffee, or are you a tea drinker?
A coffee. Coffee. I
All
love coffee.
right. That's right, Vashti. All right. You guys hear that? Get y'all's coffee. And family,
Yes.
please, again, want to thank you guys for hanging out with me and Vashti. And thank you so much, Vashti, for coming and just sharing, a little bit about you and your update. Thank you for coming back again this year. We're looking forward to your new book, and also the book you're writing in December. I'll look forward to that. So if you guys can, please look at the description. Go to Amazon, get The Little Fairy. It's a really good read. And again, if you can't afford the book, please email me and I'll send one to you. I'm gonna need probably your email, and I'll send you a copy on the Kindle so you can read it. I don't want you to miss it. You want to read this book to your kids. It's a great book. Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing a lot about you and also your new book. I appreciate you coming back this year. It was amazing. And I look forward to your upcoming book coming maybe December. So I'm sure you'll let us know. We'd like to have you back on. Will you please join us again?
Yes, I will certainly. And thanks very much again for having me.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Vashi. I want to thank you guys for watching. Again, please get Vashi's book, The Little Fairy, and also The Maiden. I'm gonna put the the link in the description. Please get the book. You're gonna love it. All right, family. Vashi, do you have any last words you'd like to share?
Oh, I thank you so much, and I want everyone outside there who is listening to be safe and walk with God, and remember, family is very important.
Amen. Family is very important. We're going to end with that. Thank you guys so much for watching. All right. Thank you guys for coming. All right.
Bye.